Hello. Well, that was a failure. I tried to say hi, I forgot to turn off the mute. And I also forgot this. Because I want to fix that. There we go. Alright, hopefully that doesn't sound all that bad. I noticed last time in the audio we tried it, I kept peaking like really badly. Like really badly every time I went like above a certain volume, so yeah. Otherwise, hello everybody. As the thumbnail and the title suggests, we are going to do not really a manga review, just a manga discussion. Yeah. Good morning, Ventus. Good morning. I give you guys time. So, how to describe this? How to describe what we are talking about today? Because I'm going to pull up the manga because, yeah. In short, to basically make it a brief thing short, let me just find the thing real quick so I'm not, I keep forgetting that in Google it's a different name. Okay. What happened is that I've talked about her, I've absolutely praised her music, and of course, I got into this manga because of her. Her name is a singer, a Japanese utaite, known as Dasby. Now, Dasby is very acclaimed in her area. She's still kind of small-ish a little bit, but she's starting to get there with a lot of original songs, and she's gotten a lot of opportunities to perform with other singers like Roan, and of course, recently she got Roan with her song, with the duet of Eclipse. And what ended up happening was that recently she got contacted to do her song was noticed by the studio that owns this manga, and they were like, hey, your song, I, Janai, fits perfectly with this manga. So, would you like to pair this PV with your song? And she was like, yeah, yes we will. I'm not sure if I can play the full thing, because I will be doing it. Where is it? Why am I doing all this? Just pull up the, pull up the, literal, like, link, because I got it right here. And do all that. I'm not sure if I can play the song. Obviously, I won't be able to play the song. Thankfully, I have desktop audio off. Come on, opera, 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 opera. Opera, please. By the way, Kendra, I just found out Bijou is a huge Vocaloid fan. Her favorite artist is Wawaka. Ah, yes, a Wawaka fan. Eee. Well, I won't say yikes. It's not a bad thing to be a Wawaka fan. Okay, so opera's glitching on me. Again. Let's see. Paste. What, will that work? What is it? Alright, there we go. There you go. Okay, hold it. Okay, it's not. I said I was gonna prepare and then I failed at that. I don't know why opera's not, oh, it's stuck at Narissa. Why is it stuck at Narissa? Basically, she did the song. I won't play the song, but I Janai. Highly recommend the song. I found out the song before the PV, and it's a really good song. Just, you know, your typical standard utaite gets to do their own original song. And so pretty much I was like, this MV seems pretty interesting. This PV seems pretty interesting. And I was like, oh man, that would be pretty cool. And so I ended up seeing if it was translated anywhere. And I didn't see it at first, which even if I did, I still wouldn't have chosen that option anyway. I went to certain sites and, you know, I went to certain sites and I found the manga. And of course, your girl, obviously, being a, curiouser, I clicked on it and I read it all the way from chapter 1 to the latest chapter of 15, which is still around. I know chapter 16's been updated, but last time I saw that, it said it was machine translated, and the translators that are, well, the not the official translators, but the translators that are on it are kind of doing it, I guess, month by month, or at least when they get to it. But 15 chapters are available. I put the official translations in the link. If you want to know where the free 15 chapters are, you know where to look. If you know, you know. And other than that, yeah, that's pretty much how I found it. Now, what manga am I talking about? Well, let us pull up our little, let's pull it up. It is as seen in the thumbnail. It is called Hotaru no Yomeri, or in English, I have so many links from last time, oh my gosh. Firefly Wedding. It is very good. It is very good. Mind you, your girl, what I say it's backwards. It's backwards, no! Oh no! Like, flip the image, it's backwards, oh my gosh. Oh boy, well, you know what I mean. Pretty much, this is the manga I'm talking about, and I really like it. Now, I've described to you how I found it, and I've described to you what the name is. But what is Firefly Wedding about? Well, I'll tell you what it is about. I will be describing to you, I am pretty sure, just to double check, the first 3 chapters? The first 3 or 2 chapters? Yep, the first 3 or 2 chapters. No, I'm in 3 chapters. So, who here has read it? I gave you guys time. Who read it? I know, Ventus, you were recommended it to by a friend. I know somebody on Twitter also mentioned it. It is a new shoujo, so there's not really that many chapters out there. But who here has read it? Just in case. Just wanted to ask. No? Yeah? Alright. Well, I gave you guys time. In short, let's start with our chapter 1 discussion. Now, who and what are the objectives of the story? You see, we have our MC. Her name, because I ended up deleting all the names. Your girl is clumsy. Let's see, it should be... Is this it? Yes, here we go. I clicked the right one. All right. So, we have our MC. She's a fine beauty and she is known as the most beautiful girl across all of the land. Her name is... Of course, I messed up and scrolled past it. That's why I forgot her names, because her name doesn't like show up immediately. Bum-ba-da-bum. Here we go. All right, I wanted to pull it up because I want to make sure. Because I keep mixing up the lettering and naming and stuff. In short, this is our MC. She's sickly, she's beauty, and she's all forms of grace. Her name is Satoko. She's basically, pretty much as I described her, a sick beauty who is waiting to be married by her father. She gets She gets mostly, and I do mean a lot, of marriage proposals. However, she constantly rejects them all due to the fact that, well, number one, she is, again, sickly. Now, what is she inflicted with? Simply put, she has a weak heart. And by weak heart, I mean the fact that if she overexerts, she will cough up blood, and she will like pass out for longer than obviously say something like a cold. She will, what is it? At one point in the story, she passes out for a full 3 days because of her heart. And of course, obviously, she doesn't want to be a burden on her family like that. But you're probably wondering, oh, so it's one of those stories where she has a terrible father and her mother treats her poorly. Well, part of it's only half true. You see, when she was younger, her mother had previously passed away. And what ended up happening was that, well, her father ended up remarrying, and they ended up having their own child. Now, the mother obviously treats her daughter with the utmost respect and spoils her to death. However, for Satoko, she is criticized for, being a burden by her stepmother. Despite the fact that, well, number one, lady, you weren't here first. Stop that. You're old. Stop competing with somebody who's barely reached 20, is what I'm saying. And so pretty much that is what her daily life is like. Now, fast forward to the current part of the story. Satoko is pretty much, she is about to probably meet the possible fiance that she will be facing. That being said, she goes out to the shop and she ends up trying to pick a vase for some flowers. If you saw in the beginning of the PV, which I will go back to, you saw in the beginning that there were peonies, or I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. Peonies, that's what I call them. She had peonies, and what ended up happening was that she wanted to go out and get a vase for her dad, because what happened was she wanted to get, the peonies were grown for her dad, and obviously she wanted to either get a vase or she wanted to pluck them for them. And so for a proper gift, or else, and then she realized blah, 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 they'll probably die. Getting into menial stuff. And of course she goes out with the servant because by all means, she is, what is it? Oh man, I keep forgetting. Well, basically, she's a noble lady. She's a noble lady and she goes out with her bodyguard. That's also the reason why she's been able to survive for so long, because she is a part of nobility. Specifically, her dad is a count. And of course, you can see why the mom does what she does, blah, 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 blah. And so what happens is she goes out. However, the second she turns around, well, three gigantic men are right behind her. The servant comes back and tries to escort her home, and well, she ain't there. She ain't there. Her umbrella has been dropped on the floor. Let's see. Let's head back to the room. What is it? Because I can show off some manga panels in here. What is it? Blah, 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 blah. Here it is. Like, what is it? Her dad and stuff right here. What is it? Here we go. Yes. Her and her servant right here where she's thinking about her dad. Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. And so pretty much, as you can see, she gets kidnapped. Not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. Not a good sign at all. And of course, there's just one, and so obviously she gets kidnapped. Now, where does she get kidnapped to? Well, that's something we find out a lot later. And I do mean a lot later. Let me see one more thing. Let me see. Just always want to make sure. I keep saying I'm gonna like spend days preparing, then I don't prepare. You can't even call it like stuff or whatever. Oh yeah, that's right. Dang. Here we go. All right. Just always wanted to confirm. I don't know why I was going to call him Makoto. Oh no, I accidentally added a scene. I meant to. Oh, I keep doing stuff that I'm not supposed to. All right. don't worry, guys. We'll probably do a lot better in the future. I say as I lie as I breathe. What is it? Is it this one? Here we go. Okay, so we'll put that away for right now, and that's going to be important for a little bit. I want to... I keep pulling up a new scene. I'm pulling up new scenes. We're not doing that. I'm sorry. I keep clicking on the wrong ones. All right. So pretty much what happens is she gets kidnapped and she gets taken to a specific location. Now, obviously, she's gagged, she's tied up, as you saw in the previous image, and what ended up happening was... Is it this one? Okay, another important image that we'll put right here, I guess. Nope. Okay. Where is it? It's of him. It's of him. Is it this one? Nope, not that one. But that one is actually very important. Is it this one? Okay, yes, she's gagged and tied up. Not gagged. She's tied up right there. Where is it? Is it this one? Is it this one? No, it's not that one. I keep... Your girl's a hot mess right now. No, that's not even the correct image. That... Is this one? No. No. I remember I like searched day and night for this thing. Okay, here we go. So pretty much what happens is that she's kidnapped, and so we find out, oh, yeah, she's gonna get killed. We don't know who has sent out to kill her. We don't know why they want her dead. We just know that they want to kill her. And of course, who's gonna fulfill that task? Our main man, right here. His name, we don't find out until a lot later. But I just wanted to confirm the names before I said anything, because of course your girl is dumb-ish. And so pretty much she's like, all right, I'm screwed. And pretty much what ends up happening is, what is it? Pretty much what ends up happening is that she sees this. She's like, hey, maybe I can get into this guy's good graces. He seems like the most normal one here, even though he came in covered in blood and everything. But it's my only shot. And so pretty much what ends up happening is she tries to talk to him, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna kill you. Because they had set up that she wasn't supposed to die immediately. She was supposed to die at around 9 p.m. And so obviously she's trying to talk to him so that she can get out of there. Of course, with obviously him being the killer, you know, the assigned killer, he just waits her out and tries to chat up with her. Now, I'm gonna be careful with my words here because I know good and well YouTube's not gonna like it, and I know good and well that Twitch is selective with what they do. The men are specifically told, do not touch her. Do not touch her in the most PG-13 way I can say it. So they try and touch her anyway, and Shinpei, I said his name. Yeah, that's his name, because I'm a failure. Our main male lead, his name is Shinpei. Pretty much, he's like, hey, I was specifically told to kill anybody who touches her because you are not supposed to touch her. And he says, well, she's gonna die anyway, so why not? And so he, like, cuts their arms and legs off with ease. And I mean, paper sliced ease. And she's like, yeah, maybe I can try again with this convincing thing. And so she's like, hey, is there anything I can do? And she's like, I don't know, what can you do? I don't know, you can't really offer me anything. I don't really care about money. I don't really care about any of that stuff. And she's like, why don't we get married? She says with full confidence is it the same? Let me pull up. Yeah, wait, let me see. Cause she immediately. I mean, wouldn't you want to, you know what, guys? Wouldn't you want to marry a face like this? Wouldn't you want to marry a face that looks lovely like this? Truly, like, peak handsomeness. Peak handsomeness, am I right, people? See, peak handsomeness is beautiful. Come on. Sure, he was covered in a lot of red flags. I meant blood. I meant pizza sauce. But come on. You get it. I get it. It's time. It's time to just go for any face that you see that's good looking. And so pretty much she produces a marriage proposal and is like, hey bro, if you court me, if you agree to marry me and stuff like that, you will be set for life. And he's like, I mean, okay, but like, maybe. Because obviously, that's a funny joke, you know, some girl who's clearly a noble girl asking this weirdo man, being like, hey, would you marry me? What is this, 2023, where girls will ask serial killers to like them? So, pretty much, he tests her a little bit and was like, poking and prodding, being like, so, what do you fall for me for? What'd you fall for me for? How do you fall for me? Why did you fall for me? And she's like, because she can't compliment a single thing about this guy. Number one, he came in walking with blood all over his face. Number two, she comments immediately that this dude has the eyes of a black hole. So, yeah. The eyes of a black hole is truly among us. And of course, you know, he pretty much is like, you know what? What? You know what? I'll have my fun. But before he can say anything else, the previous guards, not the specific guards, but another guard comes in and is like, hey, so why are these people bleeding on the floor? And he's like, oh, well, they tried to attack her and touch her. And I was told to kill them if they tried. So, yeah. So what they ended up trying to do is they try and still attack her anyway, and he jumps out the window with her. Just full blown. Where is it? Let's pull up that iconic window shot. Here is it. You know what? Why not pull up, like, what is it? Pull up the entire, like, interaction of her just trying to think of a way to convince this man. Here we go. By the way, totally, like, look up this. I have, like, the desktop audio, like, muted. Like, I mean it. Go watch this PV. It's really good. She tried really hard. Pretty much, he ends up jumping out the window and running with her outside, being like, all right, let's see how this goes. And so he's like, hey, you're really serious about this marriage thing, right? You're serious about this marriage thing. All right. Okay. So if you really are serious, okay, what is it? He was like, if you're really serious about this job, not job. He's like, if you're really serious about this, number one, kiss me. And she's like, why? And she's like, huh? And she's like, what are you talking about? Pretty much all those three same reactions. Well, you see, before, Shinpei obviously lays some ground rules. Number one, every girl that has tried to court him, who has found out about his profession, which, by the way, I neglected to mention, he is actually a hitman. He tells her that he is obviously a hitman. And he tells her that if, usually all the girls that try to court him, they get disgusted by his job, and he has to immediately kill them, because he's like, I ain't being found out today. And so, same thing happens for her, being like, hey, so, like, if you're really serious about this, kiss me, or you're just gonna be one of the many dead bodies that I have collected so far. Because he is the professional legendary swordsman of where he is from. Because, like I said, cut through the people, paper thin sliced. And she's like, And she thinks about it. And while she's thinking about it, the pursuers from the prison catches up with him and her. And they're like, well, we're not gonna die. So, I'm going to kill them all. And he does. He does. He kills them all, and she cannot, I don't even know how to like describe it. She can't register what she's seeing because, well, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Here we go. Because this is what she's seeing. I don't know about you, but that seems like the most stable man in existence. This is a very stable person. I don't know. He seems pretty stable. Right? Right? Yeah. Definitely what is it? Definitely the most stable. What is it? Here we go. Can we pause it at the right time? Can we pause it? There we go. Nope, I missed it. I missed my opportunity. Pretty much there is blood everywhere. However, she also realizes she does not have a choice because, it's either go out of the woods by yourself, which he exclaims earlier that they can't run to home because, number one, the bushes are everywhere. They are like surrounded by green forest. And she's just like, well, I can either stay and die and not know where I am, or I can stick with you, and I literally have no choice in the option. So she pretty much sees his killings, wipes the blood off of him, and is like, bro, I literally have no choice in the matter. I ain't scared. I literally just almost died. It should be fine. And that's how the first 3 chapters of A Firefly Wedding are started. With a sickly girl who could pass out at any moment, a deranged man psycho who, well, he is the most stable shoujo protagonist, which actually, unironically, he actually kind of is, that you will ever encounter, and a lovely, lovely kidnapping plot. That is the first 3 chapters of Firefly. Now, what do you guys think? I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking by myself. I'm like stumbling everywhere, which, by the way, we can probably like finish off this PV and stuff like that, so you don't have to like keep going back and forth and stuff, because it's like I said, PV is super, super good. Here we go. This is this panel, this shot right here. He's like, let's get married. Oh yeah, here we go. Also, this iconic shot right here. I'm telling you, he's very, very stable. I joke and stuff like this, but I'm not kidding. There have been also people who have pointed out this man is like clearly yandere, and he is like the most unstable, stable yandere everybody has ever seen. Which, what is it? I just keep I keep thinking that the PV's gonna end soon. There we go. That's the end of the PV. All right. I'm actually not kidding about that. Many have pointed out that, what is it? It is a yandere. He is a yandere. But like, okay, how do I describe Shinpei? Shinpei is a yandere, but he's not like your normal yandere. As much, I'm gonna keep going with the story and then like tell you guys, but like, let's describe some of these characters. Satoko, she's a really good female lead. Like, she's sick, but she wants to help. But she also knows her, like, at one point, it's like she both knows her limits and doesn't know her limits. Because she's really, really, I don't know how to describe it. She's just a really good female lead. In the beginning of the story, she's walking around because she, like I said, she is a sickly beauty. She does not go out that often. And when she does, it's usually just to go walk and take care of the flowers. She's always been like this. She's nearly died multiple times when she was younger. but she's held her own for as long as she can remember. That being said, of course, we can't forget her family. Her sister, obviously, is a spoiled brat and is pretty much the titular Cinderella type stepsister. But the thing is, though, is you wouldn't actually get that immediately as a first impression when you see the sister. Like I said, you don't see a lot of the family. I will say that you won't see a lot of a family, but they do leave a certain impression on them, at least from the sister, the mother, and a bit of the father. It's par for the course, for minor characters. The sister is very sly with her words. Just even like the brief screen time she's had, she was very slick with her words and was like, oh, you are so sick and so pretty. I can't believe you. I can't believe it. The fact that the fiance of yours, he must be worried about you. After all, if he had not encountered such a sick woman, he probably would have, married somebody else. But then, of course, Satoko, she calls her out and was like, hey, so I heard in, the background you said that if that dude didn't have a single cent to his name, you wouldn't even consider marrying him. And so, yeah, one of the things also that she uses is she does want to marry for love, but she also knows that she can't do that as not a royal, but as pretty much, a noble. She can't really do that. But the thing is that in her condition, she turns him down multiple times because she wants her dad to be happy with the man of their choosing, but also she just does not want to be married to somebody that she will be a burden to. That is just something she does not want. And so pretty much, let's just head back to the chat room because I know I'm tiny and stuff like that. She pretty much just does not want to be a burden to everybody around her, because even though she's young, she's strong and everything, the one who really implanted that was in her stepmother, which, of course, her being a child at the time, your parents really affect you, or really just the adults around you. We don't really get that much screen time with the mom, but her actions are clearly that of Lady Tremaine from Sleeping Beauty, from Cinderella. Just basically a mother who favors her own daughter compared to the original daughter. And we don't know who sent the assassins, but it is brushed off by the MC, but it is heavily implied that the people who wanted her dead are her stepmother and her stepsister. And we don't know who did it. It's only a guess. For all we know, it could have been the original bodyguard. It could have been the bodyguard of our MC. But pretty much, yeah. We don't know who, but it is a speculation and probably really obvious. And we move. Actually, there's also really not much of the dad. We do see some of the dad. He's kind of, he's your typical shonen, not shoujo dad. He's your typical shoujo dad. He's encouraging her. He's loving father. Like I said, it's kind of Cinderella-esque, where the father's really good, depending on who's writing him, and the stepmother does her thing, and the stepsister is a spoiled brat. But pretty much, yeah. Now, of course, we can't forget our beautiful. I really was trying to look for a way better shot. Of course, we could use the titular better shot. Our main boy Shinpei here. Is this one it? Here we go. There you go. Look at this face. This is the face of a puppy. He's adorable. I can't even take my own self seriously. This is Shinpei. He's a hitman. That's pretty much his career, plain and simple. And he messes with the MC a lot in some of the actions that she does. And what do I mean by that? Pretty much, he plays with her a lot. And by plays with her, I mean he's not your usual, I guess, yandere type, where he's manipulative. He just knows the situation really well. He will be like, oh hey, we're gonna die. So you can either do this for me or you can die. That's pretty much his ultimatum. Do this or you're either stuck in your situation or die. Pretty much 3 options. Endure your situation, follow my lead, die. Because, it's kind of like, what is it? So in shoujo, there's this trope where the dude who will be a bloodthirsty murderer will be like, hey, so like, I will kill everybody but you because I love you. Not this guy. He's literally like, I will kill everybody and you because I do not care. I don't really love you. I don't have any attachment to you. You can die right now and it would not matter to me. Anyway, so why don't we just head over some food? That's pretty much his personality. He's pretty much a yandere. He's a yandere, but he's not a yandere, if that makes any sense. He's just deranged. He's just a psycho, a normal psycho. He's not the I can fix him type. He's the corruptor. He's the corruptor. And by everything, man, does this dude corrupt. Shinpei is Shinpei. Pretty much, yeah. So you're probably wondering, I mentioned earlier, why didn't I mention the location she was kidnapped at? Couldn't they just go home and we see what happens? Well, that's actually the problem. You see, Shinpei tells her, as they go to the edge of the island, which is not very close, is the fact that they are on a very specific island, outside of the laws of even the normal Japanese island. You see, this is actually, obviously, if you couldn't tell, a historical drama, historical fiction. And during the time period, it is when the Western sphere was starting to impose their own religious, basically Catholicism and everything, bringing it over to the eastern side of the world. And so, obviously, it's a lot strict and stuff like that. Basically, weapons are removed, debauchery and immorality are starting to be less common. And so the thing with Shinpei is the fact that his home, this island, is pretty much home to, and hopefully I don't get demonetized for this, maybe I can say it, his home is pretty much home to a lot of prostitutes. I tried to mute that, it was a failure. The home is pretty much secure to an island of prostitution. And the only way to leave the island is either A, die, which obviously is not an option, or B, you have to be bought out by a client, aka a rich client. And usually those clients are other men. And so, obviously, our girl, Satoko, is like, I have dignity, but I also want to live. He's like, she's pretty much just like, hey, I have dignity and I don't want to do that. And he's like, well, you can die. And she's like, well, I guess this is pretty much my life right now. And they try to get off the island. They actually do kind of talk it out. She learns his name and everything, and that's pretty much how we learn more about his personality. Well, she actually, okay, one thing I will say that did annoy me is the fact that he's like, okay, let's get married, and she's like, well, you actually took that seriously? And he's like, yeah, let's get married right now. Chop chop, we're gonna get married right now. In fact, you said you didn't reject me for my profession, which is actually a key detail you will actually see throughout the story. He really likes people who don't reject his profession, specifically women who don't reject his profession. And of course, Satoko is like, hey, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm like going back through the chapters and I almost forgot in like chapter 4, she ends up going into the town and she ends up kind of looking like a crazy person because she got kidnapped and nobody knew how she was kidnapped on the island. Nobody knows that she's a noble or at all. And they think she's crazy until she like dances for them and humbles herself and is like, I'm going to survive and live. So yeah, pretty much. She does also get into a scuffle with 3 other important-ish kind of characters. Those being 3 other, that's how we learn that the island is full of prostitution. 3 other characters who are of the profession. That's actually another thing that the series actually points to. They don't shame a single character for their profession. Now, the characters comment that the profession is hard and how, like, it is competitive in their field, but there is actually no shaming in the profession. It's just how they had to live and how they've survived for so long. And like I said, the only way to get off of the island, even if they wanted to, is to pretty much get bought out or die. So yeah. So what they end up doing is that Shinpei ends up taking Satoko to one specific rundown area that he is familiar with. And what is it? And what ends up happening is that you can tell me. Pretty much he tells her, "Hey, so I got you to this rundown place that I'm familiar with. If you do manage to suit someone's fancy, you'll get bought out, and then I'll come after you eventually." And what ends up happening is that she's like, "All right, I'll do it." Begrudgingly, but she must. And pretty much what ends up happening is they actually do find somebody. You see, this person is actually really special. They're the leader of the police station. He comes often, but the thing is that he is specifically banned from a lot of the houses, the houses in the area, because they say he's a bad drunk. And obviously, Satoko's like, this is kind of scary. Oh boy. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, just have confidence. He's like, oof. This is gonna be scary. And so pretty much she meets him, and he's actually a really good dude. In fact, I was kind of like, man, he's gonna be awesome. This is gonna go badly, because the dude is actually well put together. Like I said, I'm not showing a lot of the screenshots because, like I said, I only showed a bunch of screenshots and a bunch of video footage from the first 3 chapters. If you want to look at anything else, you're going to have to go to the official site or elsewhere to find the rest of the story. Anyway, he meets him, and literally through my thought process, how do I describe my thought process when I saw this character? I was like, wow, he's so cool, and he's nice, and he's sweet. How is the author gonna make him a scumbag? Because he's literally perfect. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. And I mean it. Dude was like pure, he looked second male lead material. That's how much I was like skeptical. That's how skeptical I was. And he actually talks with Satoko, and she's like, hey, I wonder why you're banned. He's like, well, I'm a bad drunk, and I really don't know. And he's like, but even still, I want to treat you kindly. And so he notices her and is like, hey, hold on a minute. Something ain't right. You're too refined to be from here. Are you all right? Do I have to get the police involved? And she's like, so my story is, and he tells her how she got to the island. She tells him everything he needs to know. And he's like, you know what, bro? Man. You know what, in fact, I'm gonna take you off this island. I'm gonna buy you. I'm gonna take you off this island. You're gonna get home safe. You're gonna get home safe. And that being said, I must know one thing. Will you marry me? You're fine, you're beautiful, and you're super sweet, and we've had such a good conversation, because they were talking before he had noticed the refinement, and he was like, listen, I will make you the happiest girl in the world. And that set off all the red flags within me, despite the fact that this dude is literally right here. He's also like watching from the rooftop, by the way. He's watching all of this, because at first he was, before he was like, hey, you're gonna get off this island. And then he was like, I think I'm gonna change my mind. You're gonna get too chummy with a guy, and I don't want you to get chummy with a guy. Either two things are gonna happen. He's gonna die, or you stay with me, and that's gonna be the option. And of course she calls him out. That's also one thing like I like. She calls him out, and it's like, bro, you literally came up with this idea. Because he was the one that was like, hey, you gotta fake being like a prostitute in order for you to get off this island. And she's like, fine. And she calls him out on it, and he doesn't get defensive or anything. He's just like, man, she's awesome. It's pretty much his reaction to some of the things she does. She's awesome. And so pretty much what ends up happening is they talk it out. He tells her he's about to take a sip of water because they don't serve wine there at nighttime or alcohol or anything during the daytime because it's daytime. They don't do that because obviously drunk. And he passes out. One thing I actually forgot to mention, because I forgot when these girls came out. What had happened was that when Satoko actually, when Satoko was wandering around in the streets when she was going around and she did the dance for the people, two of the prostitutes that were there, two of the women that were there were a part of were actually attendants of this specific house. And what ended up happening was that they made fun of her because, number one, she looked like a beggar. Because she was going around saying, like, she was basically going around doing crazy talk, being like, I'm a count's daughter, blah, 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 blah. And of course, because Shinpei favored her a lot more, because Shinpei favored her a lot more, he left her because he wanted to see her reaction. And obviously the girls and them started messing with her and was like, we'll fetch you money and stuff like that. And obviously she showed up those girls in like the most non-confrontational way possible. And then they, obviously got upset with her. Rewinding forward, once they found out that she was coming to this specific house, they immediately made her public enemy number one. And she recognized them immediately. And was like, I see. I'm unwanted here. Hopefully I get off this island as soon as possible. But of course we wouldn't have this many chapters if that was the case. We wouldn't have this many chapters if she went home early, guys. You already know. So pretty much what happens is there's actually a reason why he is banned from every specific house within the area. Why, you may ask? Simple. Remember when I said earlier that he was a bad drunk? Well, there's a reason for that. Let me see. Let me see. I thought something was glitching. Okay, I thought it was something was glitching. Alright. Pretty much what ended up happening was, he's a bad drunk because as he was growing up, the police officer, or the police officer's son, I should have been more specific, was basically, had been worked hard since he was a child, and what ended up happening was he never found a proper outlet for his stress, and he ended up developing a split personality. This split personality is pretty much what you would expect from a manga tackling split personality and wanting to make this dude a scumbag. That is the only criticism I have for the chapter. Oh my gosh, thankfully it's only that couple of chapters. It does not last more, I think, than like 4 or 3. But yeah, I was like, hold it. How are they gonna make him a scumbag? He's literally too perfect. Alternate personality. And I was just like, I wasn't sure what to expect, but okay. And that's just pretty much it. And so he ends up throwing her around, tossing her around, and we get a reveal about another reason why she doesn't really want to marry herself off. It's not also just because she had a bad heart, but also from the scarring left on her during her times of surgery ever since she was younger. And of course he comments on her and is like, man, that's a nasty scar. what is it? That one scene from Home Alone? No, not Home Alone. The 101 Dalmatian, where one of the goons was like, they were like, number one, don't talk about his scar. He's very sensitive about it. And his first immediate response to the scar was, look at the size of that scar! No wonder why you can't talk, mate! Yeah, that was pretty much his reaction, being like, man, that's an ugly scar, bro. And yeah, you obviously can tell she was very, very self-conscious about that. Mind you, Shinpei is watching in the background, being like, man, can't believe this is all going down. We forgot about him a little bit because he was chased off earlier. But, you know, obviously being our male lead, he's a protective cinnamon roll murderer, so he's fine. And pretty much what happens is that he tries to beat her up some more when she refuses and stands up to him. But Shinpei comes in and pretty much just kicks his butt, kicks out a couple of teeth, actually. And not even like comedic teeth, he just like kicks out the dude's teeth and throws him against the wall and beats him up. He doesn't kill him because Satoko doesn't want him dead. Number one, that is the chief of police's son. If you murder him and he never comes back, there's going to be people on your butts. But you know, that's just kind of how it is. So what happens next? Pretty much what ends up happening is that pretty much Satoko tells him, please leave him alone. And they ended up kind of reconciling, and he ends up waking up and is like, I can't believe I did all that, because obviously the original personality came out, was like super apologetic. Still felt really bad for him because I was like, oh my gosh, the one thing I did not like about the story, so long, probably second male lead, probably will show up in looking like a completely different background character in another anime or whatever. And one thing that he does do is he's like, is there anything I can make up for you? And Satoko pretty much is like, hey, go back to my family and tell them where I am. Tell them I cannot escape and it is outside the law, but that I am safe and sound. And I will be working my way to get back home. And that's pretty much like what? I can't even tell you which chapter. Pretty much, yeah, that was pretty much the end of those chapters. These are the first couple of chapters, so you'll be able to get in and read. These are pretty quick chapters to read. Shinpei does his thing. He beats people up. He's a deranged swordman. He has some of the most funniest faces in the manga. He's hilarious. What is it? Hotaru no yome imeri Shinpei. Here we go. He has some of the most hilarious faces just some of the dumbest faces I have ever seen. I forgot the context of this one, but this one was really, really funny. What is it? What is it? Like you constantly forget the guy. You constantly forget he's supposed to be a murderer. I'm unfortunately sad, chat, because now I actually understand the appeal of yanderes. But the thing is, though, is that a lot of people who have also, because I was looking at forums and stuff too, a lot of people have pretty much realized that this has to be like the most well-written yandere character, if you can like say it, because he's thrilled that Satoko likes him, like genuinely likes him, or at least that's what it seems. And so he's like, I can't believe someone likes my profession. I can't believe someone's genuinely helping me and stuff like that. I mean, if you betray me, I'll kill you, but you're actually really fun to hang around with. There is also one thing there's actually one segment that I actually really liked from the manga, and it was after Satoko, it was after the reveal of her scar. As I mentioned, Shinpei was watching the whole thing, and so she was kind of worried that he wouldn't like her scar. And he was like, hey, something that was revealed near the beginning of the story was, hey, your scar is really cool. I also have like over 20 of them. So you literally do not have to be like, oh man, I scarred my body. I've been doing this hitman profession for a very long time. If anybody's gonna be judging scars, it's not gonna be me. And she calls him out and is like, she like, it was actually really fun. It was actually a real fun, playful thing being like, well, no, my scar is cooler. And it was like a really good bonding moment. That they, like a good bonding back and forth moment that they had. It was really sweet, and I really actually like that about them. Even if they like, and even then, even if, like, obviously they never became a couple, which is impossible because, for reasons in the first chapter, I really liked their chemistry together even before they developed proper, like, feelings for each other. Because it's really, really good. It's really, really well written. The dual personality guy is probably the only one I don't like, only because he was literally written to be perfect, and the author literally was like, what do I do to make it the exact opposite? It was painful. I guess before we move on, before we move on, you're probably also wondering, hey, wait a minute, because if you notice, I told you, what is it? There were two things I pointed out that I kind of just brushed aside on purpose, was the fact that, number one, he was a bad drunk, and number two, that specific house, that rundown house in the area, you just said that they don't serve alcohol in the day, and he said that he was a bad drunk. Why would he have alcohol? Did he sneak the alcohol? And it was, no, he did not sneak the alcohol at all. In fact, something comes up later in the story, in fact, the next couple of chapters, pointing to the fact that his drink was accidentally given to him. And by one of the chefs. And people are just like, huh? What? Except it wasn't accidentally given to him. It was swapped out by the original girls that were pretty much made Satoko enemy number one. And yeah, you probably already know where this is going. We're now finally going to address the girl gang. What is the girl gang? It's the girl gang. You know, the gangrene gang. The three girls who are all over Shinpei being like, man, bro, you're handsome and you help us, because his job isn't really just being a hitman. Nobody else on the island knows really his specific profession. That's one of the reasons why I pointed out earlier, he said, oh, where I told you, all the girls that have tried to date him have all died. Why have they all died? Because nobody, obviously, despite the fact that granted, you just never want to know. Pretty much everybody who's found out his profession is like, hey, I can't believe you're a hitman. And so he would kill them because they would reject his job. And obviously he does not want to get caught or exposed. That being said, when he's out on the regular island, he is pretty much the, I guess, quote unquote, savior of the houses, where he beats up rowdy guests and beats them up and sends them home or deals with them. You know, like a normal person. Still don't know how you can fall for that guy with a face like this, but I don't know. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Would you fall for a lovely, beautiful face? Come on, everybody. Come on. He's desperate. Seems normal to me. Oh, yeah, see? Hello, XA44. We are talking pretty much, wait, no, I don't have it in the thumbnail. No, not thumbnail, I don't have it in the title. We're doing, I guess, my first manga review of of pretty much Firefly Wedding. It's a shoujo I found recently. I just wanted to share it. And we're talking about our fantastic main couple, Satoko, right here, and Shinpei, our lovely male lead that you just saw a moment ago, making this adorable, beautiful face. I mean, I know it screams red flag, but red is my favorite color. I see now on TikTok quite a bit. Honestly, I'm into it. Yeah, pretty much. Your girl finally now has discovered the appeal of yanderes. I mostly see them as meme characters, but I genuinely was like, huh, I guess this really, now I see the appeal. It's about the protection squad. It's the protection of it all. Yeah, he'll kill, but he won't kill you. Except this guy who's like, I'm not going to kill you unless you threaten my livelihood, therefore I'm going to kill you. He's like, what is it? I described it earlier. He's like, you have 3 ultimatums. Do your own thing. Follow me in my lead since I know more than you, or I'll kill you. And that's pretty much that's your 3 options of choice. A round of applause for our boy Shinpei here, who knows exactly what to say in the right time at the right occurrence. I mean, if you want to kill me, no complaint. It can be romantic. Listen, you see some of those you see some of those manga out there where they do like the double the double that they always do. I'm only doing it like that because I know good and well that YouTube and Twitch will be after me. But you know what I mean. Yeah. No, but we just got done talking about which chapter am I on? Because I've been like reciting everything from memory. Is it chapter 9? Yes, we actually are on chapter 9. Chapter 9, or is it chapter 8? Yeah, the whole police officer thing happens for like 4 chapters, so all the way up to chapter 8. Okay, so we are at chapter 9 right now. I've been reciting things from memory. So you're probably wondering, why is this called Firefly Wedding? I have not heard of a single Firefly. Number 1, hold your roll. We have some things to discuss. And number 2, I forgot. Basically, previously in the story, Shinpei points out that Sadako, number 1, hello, you're a noble girl. Not like you've ever seen some of this beautiful stuff. And she's like, right, I am a sheltered girl. And the thing is like, and I also forgot to mention. Wait, no, I didn't forget to mention. One of the reasons why Sadako is kind of reserved and stuff like that, like I said, so one of the things is that, I guess if I can just take a pause for, I guess, to explain one thing I really like about their dynamic is the fact that both of them are strong in their own way, in the fact that Shinpei knows he's strong and will take you out, and Sadako is more like she's discovering her strongness, if that makes any sense. I'm not really a fan of people who describe strong female lead as just a modern day female lead. If you're gonna describe a strong female lead, just say she's well written, because that's pretty much what Satoko is. She's a very well written female lead, and there's a very big difference, because you can have a strong female lead and a well-written female lead, because that's what I really like about this character, because she is weak. She is very weak. She's sick. She has not been outside of the house very often. She is beyond what anybody would call weak, and that's only due to her condition. And the one thing I really like what a shoujo can do is take a risk and be like, because it's not that you don't get like weak female leads nowadays. It's the fact that when you do get a weak female lead, I guess you can say in the Western side of the kind of the equation, they make them too stoic, which is a problem already with male characters in the fact that they're not fun. And in the anime side of it, they make them too ditzy, and that's also too far at the end of the scale. And I think Satoko is like the perfect balance of the middle, because she's strong and stoic with what she has to be in terms of stuff like nobility, her refinement, her just whole sophisticated manner, but she's absolutely ditzy when it comes to stuff like romance, social cues, outside of nobility. And that's what I really like about her character. And she's pretty. And of course, as your girl has stated before, every character, if you are pretty, I will love you. I love all of the pretty characters. The only thing best in the world is a pretty girl, and the only thing better than a pretty girl is a pretty boy. So, your girl has all her priorities in check. And then, of course, the only thing to surpass a pretty boy is Shinpei. He's busted down, chopped my neck off, and was like, I'm the #1 person in your life. And you know what? Why not? No, but I didn't say that. I didn't mention it before. I literally just saw it. Thank you for the follow, XA. Thank you for the follow, XA44. And so, pretty much resuming back with the plot, what are the fireflies in Firefly Wedding? Well, you see, fireflies have actually been kind of recurring every now and then in the manga. So far, we are getting to the second encounter with fireflies, because fireflies pretty much represent what Satoko is. She is beautiful, and the thing is, though, is that she's very beautiful, she's very refined, and she has that's pretty much what you can describe her as. She's beautiful, and she has everything that beauty could have in her time period. But the thing is that she has a weak heart, so she doesn't know when she has time left. Just like a firefly, as described in the story. Fireflies are very beautiful. They have a very beautiful light that comes off and emits from them. But if they're away from water too long, or in Satoko's case, if her heart gives out, they can die easily. And so Satoko wants them to be free to live long, happy lives compared to her. And when Satoko wakes up 3 days later, Shinpei introduces her to these fireflies one more time. Now, you're probably wondering, whoa, what do you mean she wakes up 3 days later? Well, what happened was that when the police officer's son had beat her up and pretty much exasperated her when she was trying to defend herself, and Shinpei came in and beat him up and all that stuff, and everything went down. As soon as Satoko showed the scar and they both bonded, she felt that she was gonna pass out. And she did. She coughed up blood and she passed out for a total of 3 days. And that's where the fireflies come in, where Shinpei brings in a bunch of fireflies and shows them to Satoko so that, she can be feeling better. Now the problem is that actually not a problem. In fact, Shinpei actually brings her some really good news. They can get off the island. He didn't have to sell herself at all. Why? Because he was able to bribe a boatman. I don't know why I said that all dramatic, I just said it. And she's like, wow, awesome. And so they're going to go sailing and going to get her home. There's just one problem. I guess there really is a problem. They have to wait a full 2 weeks. Or in this case, they have to wait 10 days in order for the boat to be ready. And so Satoko is like, alright, it's a long time, but at least it's better than nothing. Within this time frame, she does have a childhood flashback for when she does have a flashback to when she was a child and was like, hey bro, you're a burden. Don't go outside. And that's pretty much the extent of her stepmother's personality. With that being said, we move on. Let us follow the chapter. Like I said, I was going to go back and read it, but I didn't. Alright, pretty much what ends up happening. Oh, that's right. He ends up getting shot in the arm. I forgot. Shinpei gets shot in the arm because the police officer's son, in the dual personality state, he ends up shooting Shinpei, and Shinpei's like, oh, that doesn't faze me at all. So, yeah, that happened. Moving on. What is it? Just being here next to you makes this more than enough. Oh, she does kind of get, I guess, by this point, she starts developing feelings for him, but not really. Kind of like the in-between state in shoujo where they're like, oh, I do like, what is it? What is it? It's one of those shoujos where it's like, so it's this common trope where the girl will like somebody else, and then when she meets somebody who will actually be the male lead, they'll be like, oh, I don't like you, until like a lot later. This is that, but like remove the other guy entirely because she has no one. And so pretty much Shinpei starts making some comments that usually would just roll off his shoulder because that's his lifestyle. Like, oh man, you're the lightest girl I've ever carried. But the problem is though, is she's like, that doesn't make me happy because you just mentioned another girl. But she doesn't realize that. She's a shoujo heroine. She'll realize that later when she likes him. And he's like, man, well, every time I tell that to other girls, they like that. And she's like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And so he ends up carrying her to bed and is like, hey, I love everything about you. Now I'm starting to refresh my memory going back to this chapter. Basically what ends up happening is that, remember when she was told, what do you like about me from Shinpei? Now she's asking, what does he like about her? And he's like, oh, I just like you. I like you for the fact that, number one, you like me. You like my profession and you accept my profession. And she's like, really? Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why I like you. And she's like, well, that's not really love, is it? And he's like, well, do you know about love? And she's like, pretty much just goes 404.exe blue screen of death on her face and is like, love is something special. Now leave me alone. And yeah, she pretty much just pulls that and then like pretty much just overshadows him. And he actually is like, hold up, something ain't right. Did you lie to me? Did you lie to me about saying you like me? Did you lie? He pretty much just a small smidget of that yandere-ness. He's like, did you like me? Did you like me at all? I bet I'm gonna kill you if you don't. And she's like, shut up. I'm just trying to sort out my feelings. And she pretty much just kicks him out. And he's just like, that's where we get this face. That's where we got that sad panel where she literally was like all flustered and she was like, shut up and go away. What is it? That's where we got this sad panel. I'm now remembering why this, what is it? Here's the yandere face, by the way. The one where, from specifically chapter 9, where he's like, oh, but I thought you liked me. I'm gonna kill you if you don't. And he's like, she just calls him out and he's just like, shut up. Unironically, still the healthiest yandere. This is where we got the sad panel, chapter 9. Best one. This stupid goober. He's such a goober. He's such a goober. Oh my gosh. I gotta lock these images. These lines are distracting me. It's just my Tuesday look. He's such a goober. That's the one thing I really like about this character. He's such a goober. It's like he's a murderer, but he just nonchalantly will say anything. Literally anything will come out of his mouth and you're like, why would you say that? No normal, well granted you're not normal, but no normal-ish person would say that. What is it? I guess kind of spoiler alert for one character. Literally one character is literally about to probably like commit seppuku. Well, not seppuku, but she's about to jump off a cliff because of specific events that I will address later. And he's like, why not just let her jump? And I was like, Shinpei, you can't say that! I'm like, bro, you can't just say that! And I'm like, I love the fact that you said that and had the nerve to say it out loud. That's what I'm talking about. That was hilarious. And so pretty much what ends up happening is to go rewind back all the way back to chapter 9. Pretty much Satoko is pretty much just in her feelings. She's in her feelings, but it's not as like annoying as it would be because it's not just her for the next couple of chapters stewing in her feelings, being like all moody and stuff. No, stuff actually happens outside of that. This just sounds like autism, ignoring the murder. Oh, who knows? Come on. To be honest, I do not doubt if this was like the author's unintentional way of writing just an autistic person, because the amount of just I do not care and normal social cues that are coming from Shinpei is just bizarre, and I was like, I think I just understood why some people just found an autistic character. I don't doubt it. Oh man. So one of the things I actually really like about this manga, to get back on track, is that this one does not let the heroine just stew in her feelings. We actually talk about her feelings, and other characters call her out for it too. So what ends up happening is, and also stuff happens. So it isn't, basically just to repeat myself, it isn't just her for the next couple of chapters avoiding the male lead and just being like harumph, and then she's just thinking to herself, being like, I'm not going to talk to you, and then 50 chapters later she's going to talk to him now. No. What ends up happening is, while she is upset about her feelings, the girls I mentioned earlier, the girls who were a part of the shop who had swapped out the drink for the police chief officer, they're the only ones people know who did it. But we all know they did it because, number one, they said they did it in a couple of chapters ago, and then they mess with her, right? Basically, they did it just to mess with her. Should they have done it? No, and that's why they get their comeuppance in a bit. Pretty much what ends up happening is these two of the girls. There's one that's recognizable, technically new girl, and then the main new girl. I don't remember her name, and I really, to be honest, I don't care to check, but for the sake of the plot, I'm just gonna do it. I'm scrolling for her name. What's her name? Was it Yukari? You know what, why don't we find them so I'm not referring to them as Girl 1, Girl 2, and Girl 53. Pretty much what ends up happening is, let's see, let's get some names for the next couple of characters. I really should have wrote this down, but that's on me. I'm lazy. Pretty much, what is it? Chapter 10 is pretty much just dedicated to Satoko pretty much learning at least a bit about Shinbei. Pretty much what ended up happening was that while she was knocked out, what they thought originally was that she would, what she thought, that they thought at the house, was that Shinpei slept with her, but then it turns out, no girl, you were passed out for 3 days. Of course he took care of you, and that's odd for him to do. And what is it? Let me see. My charger. I'm like looking up all the chapters, and my charger has been like on the fritz lately because I accidentally wet it. And it keeps not charging my phone properly. I don't know why. It's on me. What is it? She ends up, while she's in her feelings, she finds out about Shinpei. But while that's also happening, she says, she's like ignoring him and also being like, hey, I'm gonna work at this, I'm gonna work here so that I'm not like being a burden just sitting here for the next 10 days, being like freeloading and stuff like that. And so, but also she acknowledges that she's also lashing out, but she doesn't want to lash out. She's lashing out because, number one, he said stuff and he's like, oh, I like you, but only because I like anybody. Because you accept my job. That's pretty much the only reason why he said that. And obviously, I addressed it earlier. She's like, it can't be the only reason to like somebody that you like, that they accept your job. Because if that's the case, I should like you because you accept the fact that I have a heart problem. What is it? Here we go. Okay. Finally get names. What is it? I don't remember. Give us the names of these three. Did we get names of them? I don't even remember. Girl 1 and Girl 2. I'm calling them Girl 1 and Girl 2. We'll probably pull up their name. Oh, here we go. There's this one girl with black short hair. Her name is Hatsune. The tall one with long black hair is Sawarabi. And the main new girl is Yukari. Now, Sawarabi, she encountered Satoko on the first day, and she was off-put by Satoko for the fact that she stood up to her. And of course, Hatsune is new, but she was a part of the original crowd of girls that shoved off Satoko when she was first introduced onto the island. Yukari is someone special because not only does she like Shinpei, but she is the second highest ranking prostitute at the house that they reside under. But the problem is, though, is that all three of them are troublemakers because they always chase away girls who like Shinpei, because Yukari likes Shinpei, as I mentioned before. Satoko literally does not care, and she's like, man, no wonder why Shinpei likes these people. They're so pretty, and they shaved their legs. I'm not actually kidding about that last part. There's like a literal full shot of Satoko staring at Sawarabi's, like, I'm calling her Sawa, staring at Sawa's legs, and she's like, man, those are some clean legs. Which even I was kind of like, man, I mean, this isn't different from anime, but you gotta admit the author did know how to draw some legs. That reminded me of Land of the Lustrous. And those characters are pretty much full leg. But another character I didn't, for the time period, that is a lot of work. Yes. Looking back at it, yeah, you're right. Because obviously they didn't have like proper razors, or like have the safety guidelines to like do that. Definitely. Plus, what is it? They probably just had to pluck their legs. I'm like, ugh, sounds like a lot of work. I'd rather just live in modern times and shave them like an animal. One character I did not mention was... I gotta get her name. Because I actually really like this character, but I didn't memorize her name. Here we go. Her name is Ali. No, they used basically just knives. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, they didn't have razors and stuff. They had to, like, what is it? Like, they had to sharpen knives to carefully shave them and not get too close to their legs, because if they did get too close, they would, like, you know, cut themselves, and that would ruin the leg. And obviously, scarring was a no-no, especially for women back in the day. Maybe I'll actually cover that manga too, because I really like that manga, and I actually really hope we actually get a continued translation of that one. It's by one of my other favorite authors, Matsura Daruma, and they did Kasane. Highly recommend Kasane. I also highly recommend the other series, the Moons. It was like Moon and Sun. Gosh, I really was like avoiding it, and then I got captivated by it, and then the translation stopped, and I was so mad. I was like, just when I was avoiding this for 2 years, I give this a chance, it's all gone now. What is it? One girl I forgot to mention, who's literally appears in this chapter, chapter 10, is Aoi. Aoi is very pretty. I know, what is it? She's also the definition of, pretty much she is plus, okay, can I be real here? On the one hand, she is plus size. And on the other hand, the story is just telling you flat out, she is fat. And the story obviously can't really hide that. I think there's a difference between being fat and being plus size, and Aoi fits the more, like, she fits plus size category, pretty much. And so, pretty much what ends up happening is that Yukari, obviously dominating the house and making fun of anybody who tries to even think they have a chance with Shinpei. Number one, she ends up lashing out at Satoko, who just does not care and just is like, I do not care. And Aoi, she ends up also lashing out at Aoi as well, who she's like, oh hey, bro, so I slept with your man. Have fun with that knowledge. And then she leaves her. And yeah, like what is it? Pretty much Satoko's just like, shut up and we're gonna go. Because like I said, we're at the stage in just shoujo period where our female lead doesn't hate the male lead, but like she's like they don't confirm the feelings yet. We're in that in-between stages right now. We're right there. We're like right there. We're on the cusp of it. And pretty much Aoi obviously being devastated by that news, but also just, you know, Nobody likes to hear that. Obviously, he can sleep with anybody who wants at this specific island, but what had happened was that he had promised to buy her off the island. And so she obviously is like absolutely devastated by that. If it is true, which we don't really know, but pretty much, yeah. It was yikes. It was yikes. It was not a thing that Aoi wanted to hear. But I still think Aoi's really pretty. Number one thing I like about anime and manga is I like how they draw plus size people, because they draw them, it's like they draw them anime, but at the same time realistic, if that makes any sense. I really like how anime like draws plus size people. It's just, the way they do it is just, it adds a cuteness to it. Like, what is it? There was like a manga I read like a while ago that I ended up dropping because I had to pay for it, and unfortunately I was broke. Where there was this one girl who, she got amnesia because I guess because she was made fun of, and she had her, I guess from what it was implied, she had her heart broken, and she had tried to kick the bucket, and she ended up getting amnesia, and she was like, man, what was my previous personality like? And the previous personality had a notebook about how she wanted to die, and she was like, man, my past self must have been depressed. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened with that one. But even then, she was like, man, I'm gonna make the best outlook on life. And I actually really liked it. Really kind of wanted to continue that one too, but I don't remember the name, and it's been so long. I think it's been at least a year. So pretty much what ends up happening is, with Aoi's help, that I really like about when best friend characters are actually utilized in manga and anime, is that Aoi pretty much takes the role of the titular best friend character, and she just straight up is like, bro, do you like Shinpei or not? And she's like, and what happens is that she's like, and what is it? Satoko's like, says nothing, and she's like, I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! I knew my friend liked him! But, you know, obviously Satoko being at the cusp of it, still hasn't grasped the fact that, number one, she's a murderer, and again, nobody else knows any of that on the island except for her, because, as I stated earlier, anybody who knows about his profession dies, and if a woman he likes doesn't accept his profession, dies. And so pretty much she gives her an advice and is like, hey, so do you actually know about love? And she's like, I actually don't know about love. Because she was saying all that to Shinpei, but she didn't really know what love is of herself. She had a sense of duty to get married, but she doesn't marry for love. Because people do know that she is a court lady. They end up, not court lady, they do find out that, because it does spread quickly on this small island, that they do find out that she is nobility. And they're like, hey, it must be sad to like marry for like that, but at least you're doing it because of your family. That being said, I hope you do find someone you love. I really like that about both I really like that. The fact that like Satoko is really supportive. She doesn't want to participate in the job, but she does not shame anybody in this job profession at all. In fact, she flat out tells Aoi, I could never have the courage to do something like this, but I have immense respect that you guys do this and somehow keep it together and like put up with it. I could never do something like that. Speaking even in real life, I could never do something like that. That takes a lot of guts, not gonna lie. And so pretty much what ends up happening is that they pretty much form their own friendship. Aoi and Satoko, and Shinpei has been shoved to the side because Shinpei is doing his own thing. That being said, Yukari and the gang, the three girls from earlier, are trying to mess with Satoko because they think she's all that. A big bold court girl. I'm calling her a court girl because I keep saying that she's a part of a court. And so what ends up happening is they keep messing with her, tearing her clothes. It's annoying the head lady so much, like, by a lot. Like, you see her, she looks like, how to describe this lady, the head lady? She looks like she would beat you up and then spit on you. And not in the good way where, like, it's the mom thing, the dommy mommy thing. I mean, she literally what is it? She gives me fortune teller Baba from Dragon Ball Z. She gives me fortune teller Baba vibes. That's pretty much it. Or what is it? A mixture between fortune teller Baba and Monaka. You joined the Discord, thank you. I have like all notifications on. So while this is going on, and obviously they realize that they're not bothering her, Yukari tries to make a move on Shinpei, and she just fails. She fails. He's like, she literally pulls the like, if you press your chests together, you can hear each other's heartbeat, and they get faster when you're in love. And he's like, you can? That you can? And that's ruined immediately when Satoko comes in and is like, oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to stumble upon this travesty. And he was like, dang. You know what? I'm gonna read you an excerpt from the manga about this, because this is so funny. I thought this was hilarious. What ends up happening is that Shinpei has an inkling suspicion that somebody switched out the alcohol with the police chief's son. And he's like, do you know anything? Because he already knows. He's like, but do you know anything? And she's like, no, I don't. And he's like, all right then. Well, keep a lookout. And what is it? I'm going to read you this excerpt. He's like, okay, here, the police chief's son was Nitobe. And here's the excerpt. I want you to enjoy these words I'm about to read to you. This is from the translation, probably not the official translation, so it's probably going to be different in the official version, but here it is. Do you know who switched Nitobe's drink with alcohol? About Nitobe-sama, what is it? I'm not sure. I did hear rumors about Nitobe-sama going wild and getting rough with that girl. What a disaster, right? Tell me if you know anything about the culprit. She stares blankly, and he's like, what is it? And she says, for a mere prostitute, you sure are going out of your way for her. And he says, I'm going to marry her. And she's like, I didn't know about that. What do you mean marriage? And he's like, yeah, I got proposed to. Because what happened was that he mistook the previous encounter when she was thinking about how to court him or court Nobito, the police chief's son, into bringing her home. She was thinking, and she was like, shut up. I can't think about anything else but him for right now, because I'll think about you later. And once we get this done, then I'll confront you. And he mistook that for a marriage proposal. This man is a dork. Shinpei is a dork, is all I'm saying. And so he's like, that's why I'm worried about her. I just can't leave her alone. I didn't want to worry you. What is it? And then she tries to come back at him with the funniest thing I had seen in all of fiction. Talk about a rejection. This is what she says. I didn't want to worry you, but I never told you this. But truth be told, Nitobe-sama has been rough with me for a long time now. It was truly scary. If only I had asked someone to promptly take action, that girl might have not been hurt. I see. You should act more quickly from now on. The cream applied onto that burn had never felt so thin. I sat there for a good 5 minutes laughing, because I was like, oh my gosh, I have never seen a rejection so bad in fiction. Just, wow. It was amazing. Oh, that was great. Yeah, she's angry. She gets angry about that. And so pretty much for the rest of the chapter, we get into the conversation of Aoi talking with Satoko. And what ends up happening is it starts running into the time that Satoko needs for the people of the house to open up for their clients. And what ends up happening is that Shinpei volunteers to go with Satoko to get wood for the open bath. Well, not open bath. It's the big baths. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. And he and he volunteers and goes with her. She's being all stubborn and tsundere because she has so many qualities that pretty much I can only liken to tsunderes, because she is so in denial. She is in such denial. That is pretty much just her character. She's in denial. She's currently in denial. She's at the cusp right now. She's in the denial stage. She's in the denial stage of a relationship. And pretty much what ends up happening is they go to the thing, they get the wood. There's one problem though. As soon as they go out to get the wood, and they try and open the door's locked. So they're jammed in together. And pretty much what ends up, you think it was Shinpei? No, it's not Shinpei. You think it's Yukari? I'm pretty sure it was Yukari. Messing with them and stuff. But that doesn't make sense. But we'll get to that in a moment. Pretty much Shinpei is like, you know what? Why not? Let's talk. We're not gonna talk. You keep avoiding me. You've been avoiding me for like the past couple of days, bro. Talk to me. And she's like, what is it? It's locked outside. We're on to chapter 12. Why don't we just read along? We'll do a proper manga review reading. I have no idea. This is my first time, like I said. We'll probably get better in the future. Maybe we can actually do a chapter by chapter with Kasane. Kasane does things. Pretty much also, you're probably wondering, despite the fact that I told you that Shinpei, oh yeah, he's been a swordsman this whole time. I forgot to mention that. Though, granted, you probably saw that in the PV. What is it? You're probably wondering, if you are reading along, you're like, why can't Shinpei just bust the door? Didn't he do all this fantastical stuff? Yes! But number one, that would be stupid. Even, like, just out of context of the story, that would just be stupid. Why would you bust down the door to a locked wood house where wood is readily cut and somebody can just steal it? Don't you see how dumb that sounds? But that's just me. That's just me thinking being business-minded. But for real, though, it's for the plot. And number two, the reason why Shinpei can't bust down the door and do anything is because he's been injured since the gunshot wound from the police chief's son, Notobe. What is it? A-I-U-E. Yeah, Notobe. I was trying to remember pronunciation. I'm actually been getting a lot better with pronouncing stuff in Japanese and recognizing characters. I was able to read Nakiso's name without having to Google it. I was able to guess it myself. And I was able to read Arufa's name, even though I couldn't read the full title. I was able to read it, and that's all that matters. Yay. Pretty much he ends up talking with her. What is it? Let's go through this. You've been strange ever since that day you woke up. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. They're talking because he wants to actually genuinely talk about it, because obviously if they're gonna get married, he wants to genuinely talk. But you have to remember, he's a murderer. He has murdered multiple people. And obviously, Satoko has always acknowledged that. As much as she would like to develop feelings for him, you've killed people, and obviously she's like, yeah, I lied to you. She just flat out tells him, yeah, I do not like you, I lied to you, and I don't want to hurt you. And the reason why she says that is because, number one, all the way back in chapter 1, the reason why she went out also was just to get some fresh air. But before that had happened, she had been told by her dad that she had gotten a marriage proposal. And what happened was that she was saying, no, I can't marry you. I gotta meet the people that my dad wants for me. In short, she's doing it because of duty and stuff like that. And so he actually gets really upset with her about that. And he just kind of is like, what is it? He pretty much, this expression, how do I describe this expression? He looks not even mad. it's just disappointed. He does not like the fact that he was lied to. He was genuine, and when he was, here's the thing, say what you want about Shinbei, he was genuine with Satoko, and everybody could see that. He was genuine about it. He's like, you accepted my profession. I really genuinely like stuff about you. I like the fact that you are alive inside compared to me with my dead eyes. Because one of the things that Satoko noticed was the fact that he's dead inside. But the first thing he noticed about her was the fact that she genuinely, basement time, exactly. He's like, listen, he was like, he's like, you lied to me. And he, you know what he was gonna do? You know what he did? He jumped out the window and abandoned that girl. You're like, why didn't you jump out the window before? Well, for plot reasons. Because he liked to be around Satoko. And he was like, dang, well, I'm gonna leave now. And she cried. Because she didn't want to hurt him. Because even though she did lie to him, she was hurt. She didn't want to hurt him. He's been such a helpful kind to her. He's actually genuinely trying to help her to get home. Basically, like I said, she did not want to hurt him. She understands that. She also knows that. She also knows good and well that even if they were to get married, would he be someone that her father approves of? It's just, why bother? Why risk it? And you know what? He up and leaves. Except he actually doesn't, because he doesn't want to leave her alone. He goes back and he's like, hey, what is it? Then just marry me. I can't do that. So your kindness was also a lie. I'm so sorry. I don't give a crap about you anymore. He keeps saying to himself. I can hear it. It's a lie. So, pretty much I really like conversations like this. The upcoming conversation. We're like, I don't even know what page we're on in this series. In the current chapters. I really like chapters like this. Where the characters have a legit dialogue back and forth. Like being like, hey, you're gonna suck at this. And the other person's like, I know. And then person A is like, bro, you don't do this. If you don't do this, you're not gonna do it right. And person B is like, I know. You're gonna have to survive on your own. And person B's like, yeah, that's right. But if you have me, you can do it. And they totally agree, they embrace, and then they like go off into the sunset and like fulfill their battle. I don't remember what series did that first, where I really, really liked that. But I know that's one of my favorite tropes, and this is exactly what's happening here. And she knows that. And so the reason why, she pretty much just lays it flat out, being like, listen, I can't marry you. Because the only reason why I can't marry you is because, number one, it would have to be someone my father approves of. And not only that, you're of common blood. But she doesn't say that. It's just the fact that you're a hitman, bro. Why would anyone want you to marry? And you know what he does? He just flat out tells her, listen, I don't care if I'm a hitman. I don't care who you marry. I don't care who your suitor is. I will kill each and every one if it means that you're only gonna be for me. And she's like, fine. He begrudgingly helps her. You'll have no choice to marry me once that happens, right? Pretty much he like just is like, hey bro, you're gonna marry me. And you know what? She accepts it. And is like, what is it? I just really like that. And she just is like, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to get home. I just really like that about their exchange. It's like really well, I'm not gonna show any of it on screen, obviously, like I said, just in case they strike me. But I mean it, bro. I really love this whole dialogue exchange. It's really well written. It's really good. It's believable too. The only reason why she just does not want to marry him is because she knows he probably won't be accepted by her father. We all know how this is going to go. But pretty much he just tells her, as long as you're by my side, yeah, I'm gonna stick with you. What father? Nah, dude's actually, nah. Listen. Number one, the dude was written to look like a good guy, so he's going to live. Pretty pretty much you can tell who's going to live and who can die in these mangas and stuff like that. If they look like a good guy and they don't look like they're mean all the time, he's gonna live. And unfortunately, Satsuko's father actually fits that category. And now the sister and stepmother, though. Man, that girl is a brat. Even like, what is it? Just her brief appearance, I was like, man. One thing me and my own mom like joke about is we cannot be born in the past, because if we did, if we did, there would be so many things on fire. I was like, bro, if we were born in like the past where people did all that stuff to like other civilizations and stuff, like African American history, we would be the ghost stories. We would be the ghost stories, being like, did you hear about the girl named Kendra? They said that they harmed her. They messed with her. But one night, the house was on fire. And you only saw the shadow of the girl leaving house to house, burning everything on fire. That's what I mean and stuff. Now, my favorite part actually comes up in the manga. This is actually really, really funny. So she goes back, and what happens is that Yukari is actually really shocked because she goes to Aoi and is like, hey, where's Shinpei? And Aoi's like, oh, they're in the shed. And she's like, the shed? Alone. Locked in the shed. Alone. Because she's like, yeah, they haven't come back yet. And she's like, they're in the shed. Alone. Alone. What is it? What is it? Alone. She's like, alone? Like, for real alone? Like, what is it? Bring this all the way up. Alone. And Yukari she doesn't like that. She doesn't like that at all. She doesn't like that at all. And she's just like, looks like someone's gonna have to die. But you know how it goes. She's like, man, she is angry. She is angry at the end of chapter 12. We move on to chapter 13. We are almost making it to the end, everybody. The scattered dumb manga review. Hey, listen, I can probably do maybe as I like do more of these, I can finally learn how to do like a slideshow format, and I can put stuff in, and like I can manually do it. Or maybe I can do Google Docs and stuff like that. That would be really good. I could probably do the Google Docs and stuff. That would be really good. Pretty much going down to chapter... It's not hard with OBS. It's not too hard with OBS. Okay, good. I'm still kind of learning little bits and pieces about OBS here and there, so I'll definitely do it. I mostly want to control it via slides, so yeah. So I'll definitely learn that. I'll learn that in the meantime. Thank you, 44. I'm gonna call you 44 because for some reason XA is too hard for me. I struggled with that earlier. So the beginning of the chapter pretty much just goes into, just X is fine. All right. Thank you, X. Just like the Twitter, the true owner of Twitter, X. We don't call it X. We call it Twitter. It's not gonna change for like a decade, bro. Pretty much, chapter 13 starts off with Satoko mulling her feelings and stuff like that because she's happy that Shinpei didn't flat out just up and abandon her and was like, thank you for not abandoning me on this island. And you know, we're finally getting there, guys. We're budding the seeds of romance. But also, one thing is pointed out. Turns out, as obviously as it is, Shinpei is greeted by the leader. By the way, join your Discord if you want to ask for help with OBS stuff. I've done a stupid amount of work in it for my own shows. Okay, thank you. Might as well. Listen, I could use all the help I can get. Music Boy's been teaching me, and even though I know good and well, he's like, yeah, that's what you said over 2 years ago. No. One of these days, I definitely gotta take a day to, like, fix some stuff for streams and future stuff. No, but thank you. I will definitely do that. Probably will have it. Depends. We can probably have like some We could probably have like a stream where we just work out some OBS kinks and stuff like that. Work out some stuff. I don't mind doing that. One stream I actually got a private from the unprivate, make public from the past is like my old stream where we were like doing more audio setup. In the beginning when I was doing audio setup, I'm not sure if the audio is still good here. Ugh, I'm still learning it. Let's turn this down right here. All right, okay. Hopefully this is good enough. Maybe, let me see. Is it good enough? Let me see, Twitch. Let me see. I'm gonna. What is it? Let's see. Let's see. What? Oh, it's still connected to my headphones. Oh, because my headphones are right here, duh. Is it? All right, here we go. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Ah, but now it's getting too. Unlock the volume for that. And move it down here. I'm trying to not have it peak as much. There we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that's loud enough. It's kind of right at the middle. All right. Okay, there we go. It's kind of right at the middle for Twitch. Maybe I should check on YouTube just in case. I know I'm going back with audio and stuff, but I'm still working on it. I'm still trying. You can probably hear like dual audio going off right now. Oh well. There we go. What is it? There we go. Okay. All right, there we go. What is it? Okay, there we go. What is it? I definitely want to do like a better like setup for some things, but that'll be a future thing for another time. So I guess pull up the volume a little bit at 35 and that should be good. So lock volume. All right. Okay. To continue. So at the same time Satoko is working out her feelings, we get a visit by a special guest, aka the leader of the people who kidnapped Satoko in the first place. Now he calls him out and is like, "Hey, bro, you killed my men. What the heck?" And I thought that was kind of funny. He's like, "Bro, you killed my men. When do you mean I wasn't gonna track you down? Who else could have killed them? You were there." and he's like, "Man, yeah, you're here too." And so Satoko ends up going to bed, but before that happens, she gets dragged out of bed by Yukari and the gang, because Yukari's like, "Man, you were in the shed with Shinpei. I'm going to sew your mouth shut, but I'm not gonna do it. Hatsune and Sawa are gonna do it." And Satoko just laughs at them and is like, "Bro, if you're gonna do it, at least come in." She's like, "I was nearly like killed. I do not fear you. I thought maybe you would. I thought maybe you were gonna like, I don't know. You were gonna like, you know, like kill me or something, but you can't even pick who can sew my mouth shut." And so Yukari is just, and so what is it? Satoko is like, she pretty much just pulls a talk no jutsu, even though it was actually really good talk no jutsu. She's like, "Hey, bro, you do realize that if you sew my mouth shut, you're gonna be in trouble. Yukari's gonna throw you under the bus, and you are gonna be in trouble." And she's like, "Shut up. Now Hatsune and Sawa, do it. Do it. Come on, do it. Do it. Come on, do it." The only one reason why you even have clients here is because of me. And pretty much that set them off, and they end up attacking Yukari. And Satoko, do what? Do what? Oh, sew her mouth shut. They were gonna try and sew Satoko's mouth shut. That failed because they realized that Yukari pretty much was gonna throw them under the bus anyway, if that was gonna happen. And so they tackle Yukari. And Satoko, pretty much picking up the stuff from her man, Shinpei, pulls that needle that they were gonna sew Satoko's mouth with, and just goes over to Yukari and is like, I'm gonna sew your mouth shut. And it, like, brings me to one of my, like, favorite panels of the manga. Number one, her trying to sew the mouth shut. Number one, that's a really good panel. Highly recommend it. It's like you can see the yandere influence. This is why I said Shinpei is more of the corruptor type. He's not, I could fix him. He's, you can't fix me. I will corrupt you. I will corrupt you. And my all-time favorite panel, oh yeah, no, we're moving on to chapter 14. So we're almost there. We're on our way, boys. So pretty much Shinpei gets dragged somewhere by the leader of that gang that kidnapped Satoko, and he wants to kill him. But Shinpei just kind of is like, okay, one thing I didn't like, but I actually liked at the same time, was the fact that Satoko said, don't kill him. And he's like, I'm not gonna kill you. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're not gonna kill him? It doesn't matter. Killed plenty of people. But, you know, girl semi-fixed him. Just a little bit. She fixed him a little bit. And he just stares blankly and just runs away. And that was my favorite. Now, because he ran away, he was actually able to run in on time to see Satoko going to sew Yukari's mouth shut. She didn't do it yet, but it's one of my favorite panels. It is so funny because Yukari is just screaming, being like, I'm sorry, I already apologized, so stop it. And Satoko just has the most calm expression on her face, being like, oh, hey, Shinpei. Hey. When did you get back? And of course, obviously putting two and two together, because again, he already had his suspicions, but like, you know, he was like, so yeah, I already kind of knew. You were the ones who put the stuff in the drinks, didn't you? You were the ones who swapped the drinks for Nitobe, that's what his name was, for Nitobe, the police chief's son. And yeah, you were the one who switched his drinks, weren't you? And obviously, Hatsune and Sawa, girl 1 and 2, they freak out and are like, dang, we're not gonna die, are we? And of course, Shinpei does the ultimate friend zoning of all time, being like, you know, originally I said I only liked people. So one thing I realized that I forgot to mention, the reason why Satoko also didn't like the fact that Shinpei said that he liked her because she accepted his job was because obviously him being a resident on this island full of literally beautiful women, it means that he's said that to a bunch of girls, and obviously they didn't live they didn't live long enough to see the tale. And what ends up happening is that sorry, I'm stretching. What happens is that obviously Yukari being there, you know, she's beautiful. Satoko sees that, blah 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 blah. So pretty much what ends up happening, I don't even remember what I was talking about. Something about yeah, that was what it was. So they were arguing about she was moving him and pushing him away because if he was saying that he would like anybody, he liked her because that means Yukari obviously being the second best girl there, obviously I don't even care about Yukari. Moving on. Something about Yukari liking him because she's second best girl of the house, not even best girl in life. She couldn't even get the man of her dreams because that dude rejects her like flat bread, like sourdough bread. Dude rejects her like me rejecting sourdough bread, and was like, shut up. I don't like you. I never liked you. Or I did like you, but then you also hurt Satoko, and now I triple don't like you. I quadruple don't like you. I'll never like you. You're annoying. What is it? Those booms after like cope seethe mauled? It was just like a knife twisting in, being like, cope, seethe, mauled, I don't like you. And so he tells her, I never saw you as someone special. I'm sorry. And she runs away. Now, about about Hatsune and Sawa, how they were about to sew her mouth shut, they got away off scot-free. Satoko said, don't report them. They've learned their lesson after literally almost dying tonight by Shinpei's own dead fish eyes. And so Satoko and Shinpei make up. And he's like, girl, stop trying to be a female lead. Stop trying to be a Mary Sue. You're not a strong Mary Sue. And then we see them make up, and that's good. Now, here's one problem. While this is all going on, Shinpei is like, hey, Aoi, yeah, I know you're back there. I'm not stupid. Why did you lock the shed? Because you thought Yukari locked the shed, and you even probably thought Shinpei locked the shed because he's just that deranged of an idiot. No, turns out Aoi was the one who locked the shed. Now, why did she lock the shed? Isn't she the friends with Satoko? Isn't she friends with Satoko? Well, yeah. But you have to remember what Yukari said to her when we first met Aoi. I slept with your man. And obviously, he would never want someone like you. You must be a pig. Man, you're such a pig. Why would he want you? Why would he want you? She said she dug deep. I won't say the exact line, but I was like, man, that made me actually upset for the character. I wouldn't ever say that to anybody. And so the reason why Aoi did it was because when Yukari told her that, what she did about sleeping with her dude, she was like, hey, number one, I wanted revenge, and I'm sorry that I used you to get revenge, but I want to see that look on Aoi's face when her man was clearly not in love with her, and I wanted to see her hurt. And so the thing is, though, is Aoi, throughout this entire time, she's been talking about this contract. That's one thing I didn't mention on purpose. She has been referencing this thing called a contract this entire time. And the thing is, though, is that Satoko tells him this, and he's like, what do you mean contracts? There's no contracts on this island. You either leave by being bought or die. And Satoko puts two and two together and runs after Aoi, who is standing by the cliffside, because we all know how this is gonna end. And she's like, oh, well, what happened was that when I confronted my dude about it, my man about it, I ended up accidentally blowing up at him, and he had never come back since. We do find out later what had happened to him. And so what she was going to do was she's going to jump off the cliff. And pretty much, we're now finally at the final chapter for today's meeting. She's like, bro, I'm depressed. Now, mind you, remember, this entire time Satoko's sick. Pretty much just to cut all the fluff down. She's depressed because her man's not coming, obviously for real reasons, because she wants to leave, and she really did love him. And Satoko's like, bro, don't kill yourself over it. I don't see why you would kill yourself over it. You have a healthy body. She doesn't mention the healthy body part though, but she's like, you're healthy. I don't understand why you would want to kill yourself. And she's like, well, you don't understand my pain. And she's like, oh, dang. Oh, here's my favorite line from Shinpei. Just let her do what she wants, Satoko. Can we go? As Aoi's literally about to jump off a cliff. Shinpei, you can't say that. You can't say that. What is it? Let's read the whole panel, because this is Satoko and like, what is it? This is like those memes on like Twitter where it's like, oh no, just let him die. And then the person's just ignoring them, being like, there must be a way. Listen, just let her do what she wants, Satoko. Can we go? There must be something I can do to help. Can you please tell me what exactly happened? Just this whole ignoring thing. I love it when couples do this because clearly there is a dynamic going on and I'm loving it. pretty much the rest of the chapter is her explaining. She actually wants, she does actually give Satoko an ultimatum. She's like, hey bro, if you marry Shinpei, I won't jump. And she's like, I can't do that. And so she's like, oh, well, I guess I'm jumping. That's an exchange I never saw ever coming at all, which I thought was kind of, I can't tell if I should be laughing out of derangement or worried the fact that this person was like, I'm going to live long enough to see your marriage and then die. She's pretty much insane. And during this time, Satoko is walking towards the cliff, and what ends up happening is she obviously beats up Aoi, and Aoi beats her up, and then they are like, bro, you're cool. And she's like, you're cool too. You don't have to die because your man didn't come back for you. So anyway, the cliff breaks off and they fall to their deaths. And that's the end of the chapter. Nah, I'm just kidding. So they end up falling. The cliff actually does break off though, because I predicted it so much. It looked so obvious that the cliff was gonna break off. I was just counting down the seconds. And then when it got to the end, I was like, either two things are gonna happen. I was actually gonna be surprised and the cliff wasn't actually gonna break, or, well, the cliff's gonna break after this heartwarming conversation. And the latter happened. And Shinpei, obviously being our main village man, pulls up Satoko with one arm, and is Satoko and Aoi with one arm, like the strong man he is. Fast forward to the future, and our girl gets her guy. Turns out he didn't return because what had happened was that he needed to save up money to properly buy out Aoi and leave off of the island. And, well, that's pretty much Aoi and Satoko. Aoi and eventually leaving with her man. It was a sweet ending. But, of course, with that being said, there are actually 16 to 17 chapters out. I read the 17th and 16th chapter. Number one, 16th chapter is actually out on Comic Key, and the 17th chapter is upcoming. So if anybody wants to check that out, yeah. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. That was all 15 chapters of all 15 chapters of Hotaru no Yomeri, or Firefly Wedding. It was fun. I really liked it. Not gonna lie, I really liked reading this. Hopefully next time I get a better setup for this. I want to have like probably a proper room to go go about manga and stuff like that. So get ready for that next time. I'm probably gonna pick something out that I read or something we can like discuss and stuff like that. Probably next time I do it, we'll have a proper room for it. I would like that. But it was really fun. I really just wanted to talk with you guys about this. I'll probably have some proper screenshots and some story notes in front of me, because I said I was gonna reread the story and properly go over it, and then all I did was just mess around for a couple of days on the couch. Granted, I was tired. Anybody who remembers last week, I'd rather not remember last week. But other than that, that's pretty much the end of today's stream. I hope you guys loved my brief, badly summarized version of Firefly Wedding. I was excited for this. I kind of hyped it up a little bit by myself. Mostly because, like I said, your girl really actually, to be honest, I don't really read a lot of shoujo. Not a lot of days. Not really nowadays. I've talked about my opinion on shoujo. It's not bad. I just don't hang around the community a lot, because a lot of it has to do with complaining about why there's not much shoujo, instead of, I don't know, actually discussing shoujo. In fact, I really hope we do get more shoujo discussions. If anything, the last channel I actually had, I had seen that talked about shoujo was called Webtuner, and he stopped uploading, and I was actually really upset about that. Is he? Actually, I'm gonna check. Webtuner. 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 What is it? Here we go. Is he still active? No, Weebtuner. Okay. Nope, he has not uploaded an entire year. Weebtuner. I still recommend his channel. He's actually he's really good with his analysis and stuff. Even though I have opinions on his I have opinions on his Abandoned Empress review. I remember, oh my gosh, if we hi. Hello, music boy. Hello. We just got done with our discussion on on this manga that I found, Firefly Wedding. I really liked it. It was good. No, wrong one. We just got done. Let's get rid of these images so that they're not still here when we like come back tomorrow. So yeah. Those were our main leads. Those were our main leads. They were really good. Yeah, they were really good. Like I said, why is the title Red Flags are kind of cute? Aren't red flags bad things? They aren't when it's fiction. They aren't when it's fiction. I mean, come on. Wouldn't you hook up with this cutie? Wouldn't you hook up with this cutie? See? They aren't when it's me. See? Wouldn't you hook up with someone like this? Come on. Come on. I did not show this image earlier. I knew I had it and then I forgot that I had it. Wouldn't you hook up with this cutie? Come on. He's beautiful. Not gonna lie, there are actually some shots where the dude actually does look good. Your girl has a thing. There are many male leads that have swayed me. Not a lot of them sway me a lot. Unfortunately, your girl has been loyal to only one male lead her entire life ever since she discovered him. His name is Yukito Kunisaki of Air fame. And unfortunately, your girl only likes the anime version because his visual novel look just looks yikes. Only very few people have been able to sway me in my lifetime. Red flags are only red flags when it's in real life. If it's in fiction, then no, it's not. Because if you can't tell the difference between fiction and reality, I have many things to say to you, and that's to seek professional help, please. Like, for real. Seek professional help. But nah, it was real. Oh, nuts. I encountered another GFX person. I hate when they do that. I hate when I encounter I have many red flags like murderous tendencies. To be fair, if I have many qualities that people consider red flags, like being quiet and not super social. Hey, that's me! I'm like that. That's why what is it? I remember one time, like, my mom left and she came back and she was I guess joking, or like she was joking around being like, I heard from the neighbors that you had a party. And I was like, and she was like, nah, I'm messing with you. You're literally too quiet to have parties. And I was like, you're right. And what is it? She does that sometimes. Every time she leaves for a long time, she's like, I heard you had a guy over. And I was like, I don't even leave this house long enough. I don't leave my house long enough to even talk with a boy, let alone invite one over. If it is, your girl unfortunately is a hermit. But if I wasn't a hermit, I wouldn't find all my favorite manga. And most of those manga do have red flags. However, I have since been able to realize, you know what? Obviously, red flags are not for real life. And if you think they are for real life, please seek psychiatric help. What is it? I remember what happened was that yesterday I encountered this person. They were like, ugh, I can't stand some of the people in the fake community. And I called them out because they had a cheap profile pic from Chobits. Mind you, I don't hate Chobits. I will say that. I do not hate Chobits. I actually really love the style of Chobits. Not so much some of the themes that happen in Chobits. Specifically that happen to Chi, only because, like, I've been turned off from Chobits ever since I was 13. Like, I like what I like, don't judge, no one gets hurt. Exactly. Like, what is it? I'm not gonna judge you unless you're being a hypocrite. That's pretty much my standard. Don't be a hypocrite. A good example, like what I was saying right now, what happened was that somebody made fun of, like, I guess, we're not gonna get into the discussion because I've stated my opinion on it. I don't dislike lollies, but if you cross the line, I'm gonna side-eye you and we're gonna have a chat. If the character is confirmed, like, underage, like Shiro from No Game No Life. Specifically that. Otherwise, if it's something like Tatsumaki and Rebecca, go ahead. What happened was that somebody called them out being like, all you Fate fans disgust me. And I was like, really? You're gonna say you're disgusted with Fate fans and how they're creeps and weirdos, yet you have a Chobits profile pic where the female lead in the first episode, she's a robot and her on switch is in where her vagina should be. And I'm just like, so you're gonna call them? And she's like, and then they commented back to me and they were like, no, I don't lewd Chi, but I think the lollies are weird. And I'm like, bro, Chi looks 13 to 16 in the series, especially compared to her male lead, who I am absolutely sure is supposed to be in college. Mind you, I do not actually care about that because Chi looks beautiful. She's absolutely beautiful. One of the, like, cutest Chobits of the entire series. That's why she's the main girl. That being said, do not throw stones in glass houses. I will call you out on that. It's like, you can't call someone a weirdo and then be like, well, I don't do that thing in the series. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you can't say that. And then your series is full of weird stuff. There's a reason why as much as I like Chobits, I have dropped that series for the past, since I was 13. Because that was way too weird even for me. And I still like I said, I still like the art and style of Chobits, specifically of Chi. And no one else. Well, actually, technically, the little genie girl is actually really pretty cute, too. But still, mostly Chi. But if you're gonna throw stones at glass houses, your girl's gonna... I am somebody who does, like, a deep fact check on things before I watch stuff. Only because, like, I always like going in, knowing at least a little bit about, like, the plot and stuff, and then learn more as I go. And so, when I went into Chobits, that was not the case. And I was like, Oh, and then don't forget the ending of Chobits, where if the main character touches her at all, she will have her memories reset. And I'm like, why would you put it there? Why would you put that there? I must know who came up with this idea. Father of the original creator of Chi? We need to have a talk. I will resurrect you from the grave. We will have a talk here. Hopefully that didn't sound weird, but still, like, I'm like, bro, don't throw stones in glass houses. We're all anime fans here. Not a single one of us are normal, especially if you're deep in the community. If you know anything past all the mainstream stuff, you're automatically a weirdo. What is it? Mind you, I always tell people this. Mind you, I got weirded out by Chobits, but watched like the full season 1 of Soro no Toshimono. That's how much it weirded me out. And that series has a literal dude who literally asked for a magic wish granting card to turn himself into the gender bent version of himself so that he can sneak into the female bathhouse. And you see that he sneaks in. You see that. Obviously, it's like censorship and stuff, but you do see him actually do it. So you can't throw stones in glass houses and claim to be normal in the anime community if you know about stuff like Chobits, is all I'm saying. I'm drinking so much water, I'm dehydrated. I know I'm like exasperating and everything. I know, like, what is it? Whatever. I'm an anime fan. I'm a certified weirdo. I've accepted it. Some people have not accepted it yet. I'm an early bloomer who has accepted that. I am a certified weirdo, and unfortunately, your girl's never gonna recover. Literally one of my favorite anime of all time is Mawaru Penguin Drum. I'm too far gone in this community. Still love that series. Love the ending. Love that one final monologue between two of the adult characters. I always shipped it ever since. What characters? I don't know. Oh man. I don't know. Anybody else want to talk about something? If not, then I guess I'll sign out for today. I'll wait a little bit. Anybody want to, like, us talk about something? Dress something? Blah, 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 blah. Bum 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 bum. Wait a minute, you've been spamming hydrate in the chat. I did not see that at all. Little did you know, I've been hydrating the whole time. I gotta, like, find a way for, like... Wait. I gotta, like, keep it on Twitch, because I know, like, for YouTube, I'm, like, in the live streaming deck for YouTube, and I do not see it, but, like, for Twitch, I can, like, see all of it. Oh, new redeems. Yeah! What is it? One of these days, I'm gonna, like, oh, everybody is on Twitch. Yeah. Okay, so everybody's on Twitch and YouTube. I have, like, a dual thing going on right now. Why? Because I can, and because Twitch doesn't pay me, so I can do whatever I want. We can drown Ken now. Fantastic. Yes, I added the hydrate option. Yay. ABX. But nah, hello ABX. We just got done with our manga discussion for today. Of Firefly Wedding. I'm on both, exactly. Exactly. For anybody who wants to look at the PV, PV we saw earlier, by Dasby that included Aijanai. I'm gonna bomb all them at the end of every stream I catch. Exactly. What is it? I'm gonna put Dasby's PV, the special PV. I'm gonna put that in the chat. But if you can't catch it on the chat, I don't know why I like doing the pop with my lips sometimes. I just put it into the chat just in case anybody wants to do that. But if you don't catch it in the chat, I have put Dasby's PV in the description on YouTube. I have also put the official link for Comic Key on YouTube, and along with the official Japanese Raws on YouTube. Now, for all my brethren who are into the free kind of manga sites, you know where to look. There are sources out there, because that's how I was able to read all that I read to you today. I understand none of these words. Dasby is a singer. I really like her works. I really like Dasby. She's so pretty, and I love her avatar. Oh my gosh. Like I said in the beginning, and I'll say this every single time, the cutest thing in the world is a cute girl, and the only thing cuter than a cute girl is a cute boy. Your girl's weakness is with cute things. And obviously, how much water do you drink per hydrate redeem? To be honest, I'm probably gonna switch to keep going to Twitch for right now. I have this. Usually, I don't actually have water near me. I have to like go get it just when I have a random break. And nowadays, I haven't been drinking it as often. But now I have this like big old canister of water next to me that I've been drinking for a couple of days, and I'm now finally starting to get back on a regiment with it, because I'm like, I guess it's a water diet where like I don't really eat in the morning. I eat at lunch and then I carry on with water for the rest of the day, if that makes any sense. It's not a bad thing. This is actually apparently like an actual dieting technique. I'm just trying to do better with my health and stuff like that. So your girl is actually doing a lot fine. She has been getting weak, though, in the fact that she will give up her whole regiment for a bowl of Frosted Flakes. I kind of just, but if to be specific, I just pretty much take one big gulp. Though with X spamming hydrate, 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 I've been taking multiple big gulps even before I knew the hydrate was a thing, because your girl knows good and well that she's dehydrated when the roof of her mouth just starts giving out. So yeah. I also know I've been schizo posting on like Twitter as of late. Ignore that. I'm gonna try and slow down in the next upcoming days, probably only because I know good and well you guys don't want to keep seeing me retweet over and over and over and over again all this stuff. I know I can make an alt account, but at the same time I don't care and want to, because I'm not gonna manage that. That's why I've pretty much given on my alternate account on Discord, because I don't feel like swapping back and forth, because I'm lazy. But no, that's pretty good. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it for today. Other than that, yeah. Unless anybody else has anything to say and do, ASMR stream when, you can go to my textbook. What is it? I gotta properly thumbnail those, because I was gonna lazy thumbnail those and then I got lazy with that. What is it? The closest thing I've done to ASMR is in my drawing streams, where I end up singing to myself because I'm just bored and I like music, because I can't hear the background music you guys are hearing, surprisingly. I didn't know. I was trying to actually do that, and then Discord was like, nah. Not Discord, OBS didn't let me do that, and I didn't realize that until I put my headphones on for one stream. So every now and then I adjust the music. So I end up putting on music that I like, that I listen to concurrently. Sometimes I share it, most times I don't. Will I ever cover them one day when I start making music covers? Probably, actually. One of these days one of these days I'm gonna cover some Magical Girl series songs, and not your standard typical ones. Save Me Lollipop, anyone? Yes, that thing was a trash fire, but it was my trash fire. It's a series that I thought was like the worst series I have ever encountered, but it was like, it's not even cracked my, like, I'd say it's like, if I had to crack my series of top 5 series, just in media in general, that are worse, I would say Soro no Toshimono, only because of that ending. And I hate that. I hate the ending of that one. And anybody who knows me knows exactly why, because I've explained it on here before multiple times. Ecstasy Heart, the webtoon. Ecstasy Heart. Okay, so Soro no Toshimono's ending. Ecstasy Heart, the webtoon. I can't think of number 3, but I know that's also a webtoon. I would technically say Maji de Watashi no Shinasai Koi, but because only the anime adaptation was terrible, and I found out real quick that the visual novel was a lot better. And then Save Me Lollipop is number 5. Let's see if each hydrate redeem is 1 sip, which is about 1 B millimeter, and I have about 60k points, and hydrate redeem costs 100 points. I can do 600 hydrate redeems, or make Ken drink 2,375 gallons of water. But making Ken drink that much at once may be a bit evil. What is it? How much is in here? There's about, oh, it's rubbed off. We got 3 p.m. How much is in here? Around 1,600 gallons. Bet, do it. We have about 16,000 gallons in, well, not 16,000. We have 1,600 gallons in here, so. What is it? I remember, what is it? Have I told you guys this? So what happened was that when I first started my water regimen, it wasn't the first time I had started it. But what had happened was that as of around the beginning of this year, I had picked it back up because I had started it, but because of the pandemic, I had to stop because we ended up becoming indoors and we had to conserve on food and water, despite the fact that that would have been the perfect time to continue it. And you know, stuff like that. And what ended up happening was when I picked it back up again, oh man, pre-roll ads, run an ad break. Not 1 minute ad break. Oh my gosh. Ad 30-second ad break. I'm running that. 30-second ads. Whew. Okay. All right, I'm just waiting it out. 1,600 gallons would flood your whole house. What is it? I'm just waiting out the timer. It was disabled because I ran an ad break. So, hold it. Okay. All right. We're back. We were able to disable it. 16,000 gallons would flood your whole house. But I would be hydrated and clean because I'll be rinsed in water, and water cleans. What was I saying? What is it? I remember I was starting again, and your girl made a dumb mistake, and what had happened was that I had filled up the current gallon that I have that I use to do the water thing throughout the day, and I drank it in one sitting. To say I didn't feel like a balloon would be a lie. I felt like if you stuck a needle in my stomach, I would explode. That was the worst decision of my life. Number one, I hadn't done it in like 2 years by that point. And number two, why? Mind you, I used to actually carry around a jug that was bigger than this, and I would sip throughout the day. I only have enough points to make you drink over a bit over 2 gallons. Well, save your redeems. What is it? One redeem I actually want to do is I want to clip last week's stream and just call it Frigid Fjord from the stream, because oh my gosh, the amount of rage and feelings I had when we had to do that level last week. So I guess to explain last week for anybody who wasn't there, we are doing a current Let's Play of Kirby. We will be doing a current Let's Play of Kirby's Epic Yarn, and each week I pick one world and we just breeze through it and the bonus levels and stuff like that. We recently just went through Snow World, and Snow World was way harder than it should have been. I'm not kidding. Like, I remember just being like, I don't remember Snow World being this hard. And not even because of the ice physics, it was just kind of harder than it was. Maybe just lack of muscle memory? But even all the other worlds weren't that hard. Even the water world wasn't that hard. And it was just a pain to get through. And I failed at the boss. I missed a treasure in one level, and I didn't get gold in another, when I usually get gold in most of the levels by first try. And so what ended up happening was I ended up fast forwarding, going to the bonus levels, and we encountered the level Frigid Fjord. That was a racing level, and I was fearful because I thought it was a penguin level. And I love racing levels in Epic Yarn. And I'm not kidding when I say this. That level was built for 2 players. Because if you try and do that level by yourself, you will not make it. You will not make it to gold. You can't do gold on that level. You cannot do gold in that level. It is near impossible to do gold on that level. It was insane, and it made me angry. And you could hear me being angry the entire time, because if you do, I guess, want to complete it 100% gold, you have to do a perfect one not only of getting as many beads and stuff as possible, you cannot get hit, which you will get hit in a specific spot, and you see me get hit in a specific spot every single time, and you have to get the 5-star, you have to get first place also, you have to get first place in the race, and you have to get the 5-star patch. It was a nightmare. I was losing my mind. I lost my mind. You can hear, like, I'm not kidding when I say we were going to do this Firefly wedding stream on Saturday. I was genuinely losing my mind. I lost all of my sanity. I was so mentally, actually physically mentally exhausted. And the only reason why I won that level 100%, because we got all the furniture, we got all the furniture. I ended up getting only all the way to silver. The only reason why I was able to do 100% on that level was because I had bought 2 Wii remotes. One for when I was playing and one in case I had a guest over who wanted to play with me, like my sister or something. And I used the second Wii remote, I abused it, and got Prince Fluff to be my extra engine boost to get gold and be on time, get the level, get everything. It took only 2 tries, and I was furious because that level was clearly not built to, oh my gosh, it was just not built to be a single player one, and I was so mad about that. Ugh. Looks like we're gonna come up with an ad break in about a minute or two. I was so mad about that. But otherwise, yeah, that was last week. That went on, what is it? It turned my what is it? Epic Yarn streams go for like 2 hours. That took like 5, and I was so mad. I was like so mad. I was just, ugh. I never want to go through that again. Hopefully these levels don't do the same thing. These upcoming levels don't do the same thing. I don't want to abuse my Prince Fluff privileges. I don't. Prince Fluff, I might actually go back in some levels and like and go like show you guys like what Prince Fluff can do. Cause I do actually think only some of the abilities do, but some of them do add like little quirks and stuff, and I really like it. It just depends on who touches the special abilities first, because if Prince Fluff touches it, he takes over and Kirby is backup, and if Kirby touches it first, vice versa. So yeah. I think after this like ad break that happens in like a minute, I'll start preparing everything. And actually once this ad break pops up, I'll start preparing for everything, and then we'll sign out for the day. I do actually really like these manga reviews. We should do them more often. But I'm gonna, like I said, that's probably gonna take a long time. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna properly set up a room for that in the future. Because every time I share off an image in like chat and stream and stuff like that, I always end up doing something wrong. I'm thinking a purple room. Manga always reminds me of purple. I don't know why. Let's see, who's live? There's Hexa, there's Kaori, and there's Captain Cube. VTuber. Quantum. Amaranth. You guys want to jump in an Amaranth stream? Y'all can't hear me. Quantum. Quabbits. Let's see. Who's live? VTuber tag. VTuber tag. Huh? Okay, my computer like went blank for a second and I was like, oh no. Oh, KK Cyber. Nope, that's a clip from 5 days ago. What is it? Professor Lando, Anime Education, ADD. Let's see. ADD. Neotep. Sonero-sama. She's Terror. VTuber BR. She's not a VTuber. Aqua. Oh, 0. Let's see. Oh, Key's on. Why not? Why not, Keyjit? Alright. Okay, everybody. Can anybody hear me? I'm not sure. What is it? Is it still going on? You recently ran an ad and must wait to run another. Oh, wait. Wait. Did I already run the ad? What? Okay, whatever. Keyjit. Who knows? Yes. Okay. Dang, I messed up. I thought I was running the ad. I messed up and then I dallied and I was confused. Whatever, let's go to Hexa. Alright guys, she's playing Venba. Alright, well then, I'll see you guys next time. I hope you got the raid emojis and everything in between. It was fun. And I shall see you guys tomorrow. Oh wait, I almost forgot. That's what I was preparing. So there is an upcoming schedule change that is happening this Wednesday. I said this before, I will not be doing any streams on Wednesdays anymore. If I just so happen to have the time and I just want to, I'll just pop right in. It'll be impromptu. So I guess don't keep a look on it, or do or don't, I don't know. And when it comes to Fridays, we will actually have a schedule change on those, and this is going to be implemented this week. Epic Yarn streams will be delayed until 6 o'clock. I usually start them at 5 my time, so 5 p.m. Central Time. I will be moving them to 6 p.m. Not Central Time. Why did I say Central Time? Pacific Standard Time, PST. I don't know why I said Central Time. My basically all gaming Friday gaming streams will be moved to 6 p.m. So yeah, that's because I will be out and busy at 5 o'clock, and I will be either leaving, and it just gives me ample time to prepare ahead of time. And it just gives me time to prepare. So we will still have Friday streams, and if I have to cancel them, it will depend on what I'm doing. And we'll have to either cancel them that day and push them to Saturday, or they will just be 6 o'clock or 7. So 6 or 7. Okay? All right. Let us tune out and head to Hexa. Bye, everybody. Skip it about.